Hello everyone, my name is Barira and you are watching my channel The Wellness Valley. In this episode, I have my mentor and a teacher who has introduced me into the face yoga world. Her name is Danielle Collins, and if you don't know about her, you are living in a stone age. How are you, Danielle?
I'm very well. Thank you so much for having me. And it's so lovely to connect with you again after all these years.
Yeah, it's like for me, it's like accepting my request for this episode. It's for me, it's dream coming true.
Oh, that's so lovely to hear. Thank you so much.
So as we are there are series which we are working on. It's like Touched, Moved, and Inspired. So before we move into the story of yours, that who is the person who has touched, moved, and inspired you, please let us know about yourself.
Of course. So, my name's Danielle Collins. I'm best known as the world leading face yoga expert. My journey started almost 20 years ago when I was 21. I just left university. I studied education and English literature, and I always knew I wanted to teach, but I thought it would be in schools. But as I left university, I became really unwell. So, I was diagnosed with an illness called ME. So this affected my central nervous system, my immune system. It caused a lot of pain in my body, a lot of fatigue, and doctors didn't really know how to help me. Some doctors said I may live with this forever. Some doctors say I may get over it in a few weeks or a few months. And I was very much bedridden and housebound because I was in so much pain in my body and such overwhelming fatigue. And I never was anyone that was into anything wellness, holistic. I never even heard of yoga before, but I was determined to overcome the illness. And someone actually recommended, why don't you try some yoga? So I got a videotape of yoga. I couldn't do very much because I was bedridden, so I couldn't do a lot of the asanas, but what I could do was the breathing techniques, the visualization, the positive thinking, and some gentle stretching as well. So I started off doing this, and I remember so clearly the first time that I took a really deep healing, really I guess abdominal breath, and remember thinking, oh my goodness, suddenly I felt calmer, I felt more relaxed, and it really started my journey from there. So I called on lots of different holistic therapists, lots of different holistic modalities. I started to look into how I could heal myself through nutrition. I did a lot of mindset work as well. I realized that I was very much someone who used to be very much a perfectionist, put too much pressure on myself, was very, very stressed. And all of this combined with getting glandular fever then meant that I got the ME. So I knew that if I could get myself into this illness, I could get myself out of it. And doing all these things within 12 to 18 months, I was strong, I was healthy. By 18 months, I completely had cured myself from the illness. And I knew that I wanted to help other people in a similar way. So whether it be to overcome a chronic illness or just to feel healthier and happier using really simple, really natural, but really effective techniques. So I took my first training in relaxation therapy, then I trained as a yoga teacher, I did training in nutrition and face massage. I did as many trainings as I could and started first of all teaching a lot of meditation and yoga classes. And in the early sort of year or two of doing this, I was noticing that students and clients that were coming to me was saying, Danielle, I love what the yoga is doing for my body. I'm getting stronger, more flexible. I love how it's helping to calm my mind. But what about my face? And going back sort of 17, 18 years ago, we didn't have very many options for the face. So we didn't have more invasive options that there are now. And really, there wasn't the same knowledge about natural beauty and natural skincare as there is now. So I knew that actually there must be a way that we can work the face in a similar way to our body. Now, I'd done training in facial massage, but this was very much about giving people a massage for their face. But what I wanted to do was give people the skills to be able to do it on their own faces every day, because getting results every day is what we want rather than maybe going once a month for a facial treatment. Also, when I trained as a yoga teacher, I remember thinking, how crazy is it that we learn everything from the neck downwards in terms of the muscles and how to strengthen and how to stretch, but nothing about these 57 muscles in the head and the neck and the ears and the tongue and everywhere in that area. So I had all of these thoughts and I thought, okay, so I'm going to delve into research. So I looked at a lot of techniques that have been used in traditional Chinese medicine, in Ayurveda, in Shiatsu, so a lot of more traditional Eastern techniques, but also looked into the research. So as well as drawing on trainings that I had done, I was starting to research more about the face muscles, the lymphatic system, the bones, the skin, and started to put together techniques for the face, so the Danielle Collins face yoga method. And at first I would just teach maybe 5 minutes or 8 minutes at the end of yoga classes, and that was really great because I was honing my techniques with my clients that were coming to my yoga classes. They were doing before and after pictures for me. I would make them little CDs that they could listen to, and they would do the techniques and give me feedback, and that really helped to me to sort of hone the techniques. And then fast forward 17 years, I've been very lucky to teach this around the world to millions of people. I've got 2 best-selling books. I do face yoga teacher training, as you know, it's something which you've done yourself. I've got a skincare range. I've worked with many major brands. I've worked a lot on TV and in the media, internationally. So I feel very blessed that I'm able to every day do what I hope to do all those years ago, which is to help people just to feel healthy and happier using these really simple natural techniques.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing. Yeah, I mean, I can say that you are touching in terms of the health and wellness in a much holistic way. And it's like touching millions of heart.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that.
So yes, who is that person who has touched, moved, and inspired you?
Okay, so when I knew you were going to ask me this question, and actually, first of all, I went into what I call my thinking mind. So I was going through all these people, and then I thought, okay, what I'm going to do, and this is what I always do when I'm trying to look for the answer to something. I take a moment, I breathe, and I ask my intuition. And the answer I got straight away was my children. And they are 6 and 10 years old. I've got 2 little girls, Lucia and Lilia, and they really inspire me, move me every day. And one of the biggest, well, there's a few reasons they do it, but one of the biggest reasons is they are fully themselves, and something which I aspire to be every day. I hope that I achieve this many days, not all days, but many days, is being fully myself. But what I see in them is they really move towards what feels joyful for them every moment. So my youngest daughter, she's very creative. So often she'll wake up in the morning and straight away she's starting an art project, or she wants to do baking, she wants to do imaginative games, and she's just being led from fully who she is on the inside and just being led by joy. My elder daughter, she's very sporty, so she often will wake up in the morning and she's got like this indoor football, which I'm always really worried about is going to break something, but she's got this soft football and she starts to do all these football skills, or she wants to go out in the garden, or she wants to go and play a team sport, and she just loves that. She loves moving her body in that way. And that inspires me so much. And the other thing which they do all the time is be fully in the present moment. Now, of course, with society and conditioning and school and everything, they can't always be in the present moment, but I do notice they do it way more than any adult I know. And again, it's something which really inspires me, and I aspire to do more, which is be in the moment, and just while you're doing something, be so fully into that you're not thinking about what you're going to do in 2 hours time or what you did yesterday. Because definitely as adults, we spend probably 90% of our time thinking about either the past or the future, and we forget that all that really matters is the present moment. That's the only place where we can fully be ourselves, we can fully be present, we can fully be relaxed. Because if we're living in the past or living in the future, our body goes into a stress response, and that causes all sorts of problems. So actually, the more that we can do that, the better. So they inspire me every day for sure.
Wow, thank you so much. And yes, or however, when you were sharing about your daughters, you were giving lots of messages. But still, in the end, I would like you to give a message for the audience, please.
Yes, of course, I'd be happy to. So again, I knew that you were going to ask me this question. And again, I went into my intuition with it. And I felt like there was three things I wanted to share, actually. So the first thing, very much related to what I've just said, which is about being in the present moment as much as you can. So if we can try and find things that we can do or tools that we can use in order to allow us to be present, that is wonderful. And it's about, as much as possible, just being. So for me, I enjoy doing yoga, I enjoy walking, I enjoy being by the ocean. All of these things help me to be in the present moment, and being with my children, of course, as well. So that is a massive message I want to give everyone. Do anything you can to bring yourself into the present moment. The second tip that I wanted to share was about gratitude. Now, I just think that gratitude is hugely important in all areas of our life. It can be so deeply healing, and often when we are going through difficult times in life, so maybe what's happening around us is very, very difficult or challenging, or what's happening inside us feels very difficult or challenging, it can be really, really difficult to feel gratitude and to feel thankful. But in some of my lowest moments in life, what I've always tried to do is just try to list 5 things every day that I'm truly grateful for. Now, these can be really simple. So it can be, thank you for the food I've eaten today. Thank you for the roof I have over my head. Thank you for the legs that I have that allow me to walk. Thank you for the breath that I have that allows me to breathe. It can be really simple like that. But also remembering the good moments as well, to try and be as grateful as you can. Because again, when things are going really, really well, we often forget about gratitude. But I heard once that somebody said, what if what you had tomorrow was only the things you were grateful for today? Which is really important. And I think that that's a really good message. So it's almost saying, the only things that we're grateful for today, if we would have those tomorrow. So for example, if we're not feeling grateful for our health, does that mean we're not going to have it tomorrow? Not necessarily, but imagining that really makes us, just forces us into going into that gratitude, which I think is so important. So it can be, again, really simple, thank you for this call that we've been on today, thank you for the sunshine that's been there today. Gratitude is so important. So before you go to bed every night, just list 5 things you're grateful for about that day. And one thing I do when I wake up in the morning as well is I always just say thank you, thank you, thank you, just 3 times in my mind. And I'm not a morning person at all, and that's often difficult for me, because what I often do is think, oh, I want more sleep, or oh, it's going to be a rush now this morning. But I just say thank you, thank you, thank you, and it just shifts everything and just changed my mood. And then the third and final thing I wanted to share was breathing. So again, I've mentioned breathing a few times today, but of all the wellness tools that I teach, and I have been teaching over the last 17, 18 years, I would say learning deep, correct breathing is the most powerful. So really simple, just breathing in for about a count of 4 and allowing the abdomen to rise, and then breathing out for about a count of 6 and allowing the abdomen to lower. And if you can just do that even 3 times, it'll just take you out of that fight or flight stress response into that rest and digest response. And it really just allows every system in your body to work most effectively. It helps your mind, it helps your skin, it helps your face, it helps your body, it helps everything. So being in the present moment, gratitude, and deep breathing would be my 3 things I would like to share.
Amazing. Thank you so much. So in the end, I will pay gratitude to you. That thank you so much, Danielle, for sharing your valuable time. This really means a lot to me.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. So friends, please like, comment, share. And if Danielle has touched, moved, and inspired you in many ways, please share your story.